Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill. How's it going?
I didn't mean to say it like that. I'm not exactly sure what happened. It was an odd L on
It
that
was.
Bill.
It was a little sing-songy, a little bit, not a lot. Oh.
Hey, man, if there's anybody who deserves their own theme music, it is you, sir.
I love that.
Jake Jordan is my Bill. Yeah, that's gonna be a thing.
Mr. Bill, he's a bald Bill.
Oh man, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I had a busy day yesterday, but I'm in a good mood. How about you?
I had a busy day yesterday, and I am not in a good mood. So yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah, rough day yesterday, man. Rough day. This week,
similar, just mindset, garbage, trashy stuff that brought you down?
Chaos.
Okay.
Right? Chaos is just like it's my kryptonite, right? Like I like to plan, I like to be deliberate, and when too many things are like up in the air for too long without traction around them, it just drains my batteries. Like, I mean, rough day yesterday. I mean, honestly, this week has been rough, right? New year. So, you know, I didn't, how do I say this? I wasn't really expecting it to be like January 1st is like, oh, everything's better. But like, I think on some level we were all kind of thinking that because like, we're all building this huge expectation of like, hey, at least we're done with 2020, you know? And like, you see the memes with like the guy wearing like the button up shirt and he's like holding the Christmas present with the new shirt and it's labeled, 2020, 2021, you know? And like, I wasn't really expecting a lot of difference, but I just think that there was too much expectation around the new year. So
I agree. I think it's a lot like New Year's resolutions. I think it's the exact same concept. Like, oh, new year.
Yeah, new year, new me, right? And then all the gym ads are coming in around that same messaging.
Oh heck yeah, I'm already yeah for sure. Yeah, I agree. I don't like maybe I'm getting to old man. I kind of like that I'm getting to old man in certain areas, but I'm getting to this kind of crotchety old man of like, stop putting up dumb memes about 2021. Like that doesn't do you any good. It actually does you the opposite of good.
Yeah.
Actually cements the idea, haha, 2020. I don't believe that, but haha. Well, then don't put memes up about it. I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah. I don't know, like we try to be funny, right? So that way we stand out, we get attention and stuff. And sometimes that funny, like the line between funny and snark, right, is like very, very thin. And I think most people overshoot funny and fall and I'm one of these people. I'm speaking from experience, right? Yeah. And so then you're always looking for like the ways to be funny and stuff, and like you're just looking for ways to be snarky. And I think that has like a bigger impact on how you view like all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You are the summation of your thoughts, deeds, and actions, right? So if you are constantly looking for ways to be sarcastic or ways to like, call out certain things and stuff, like, put you in a weird space.
Well, you won't be kind because you're constantly looking for ways to
That's true.
Like undercut people's thoughts, whether you mean to or not.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Mama Bill.
Good morning, Mama Bill. I have a meeting with Mama Bill today.
Yay!
So, she hopefully has completed her homework. So that's kind of my agreement. Like, you have homework, go forth and do it, and then we can talk about it.
Right. You can crunch it in before, in case he just reminded you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You have apparently 9 hours, more or less, to get it done. Our meeting's at 4. Good morning, Levi. The haircut experience was nice. It felt very like pioneer frontier land. Hey, the haircutter's here, everybody gather, kind of thing, so I went first, and then Melissa and Alice got theirs, and as soon as I got done with mine, right, like she trimmed the beard and did all this stuff, and so then I came back in here and started working. And wasn't largely paying a whole lot of attention to what happened after I left, because I had calls and meetings and stuff, and I didn't Melissa and Alice both currently have bangs, but they were talking about trying to grow the bangs out. So then later on, when I took a break, she was still here, the woman who was cutting her hair. And Melissa's like, look, bangs. And then like later on, I was like, was that like a like a hey, I'm happy about my bangs, or like hey, I have bangs because I got talked into them kind of thing. And so I went for a walk yesterday afternoon because I didn't get to yesterday morning. And then on that walk, I was like, man, I didn't check in with her at all after like I stepped away. And, to her, this woman is a stranger. She doesn't know her at all. Like I've known her for a couple of years and she's done my hair and all this stuff. So like I came back in and we were kind of talking about it and I was like, hey, how was the experience for you? And she was like, no, it was super nice. Like she was very pleasant and good to work. And I was like, cool. Like, I just want to make sure you didn't get talked into something you didn't want. And she was like, no, she asked and I wanted it. And I was like, okay, that's great. So
yeah.
It was interesting. It was nice though, because a little bit of pampering kind of goes a long way, right? Everybody needs a little bit now and then. And so yeah, I don't know. Melissa doesn't think that the hair looks that different. I think it looks or she said that it looks healthier, whatever like as a guy, I'm like, I don't even know what that means, or not as a guy. I just don't understand what that means, but I do think it like hangs better and looks a little bit better and stuff. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Cleaner lines probably is, I think when it starts getting longer and you get that trim, it doesn't look that different. It's just, you just got like this shape, this cleaner shape.
Yeah.
There.
So photos on Saturday with the great Tony Drury, who, man, go check out his gram. Like he's been doing these things where he drives around to like different cities and he'll book himself out for the weekend and do these like drive-bys of like photos of people on their like porches and stuff. Yeah. They're awesome.
Cool.
So his Instagram is the Beer Peddler, I believe. I'll put it in the comments here in a second.
Yeah. That goes by the Beer Peddler.
Well, Tony Drury is a true Renaissance man, and the fact that like he's worked for a bunch of different breweries. He was a beer rep for a while. He's also in a music group called Shit Dang, right? Yeah, he does all kinds of crazy stuff. He's a great person to know. I'm just super excited to have him photograph me. So as much as I'm excited about anybody photographing me, photographing me. No, that's not it. Man, I got to have a call with Quentin yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yes, we had a chat because I have some ideas and wanted his input on them, and we were talking about his show Stupid Deep, because I've been sharing the show with like people, and then I actually had a friend come back and like, man, I got this show you got to check out, and I was like, oh, what is it? And he's like, the show, it's called Stupid Deep, and I was like, I told you about that show, right? Like, I got all indignant about how my recommendation was not even remembered as coming from me. Like, how ridiculous was that? But I was like, dude, I'm the one who sent you that show. And he was like, oh man, it's so good, right? And I was like, yeah, it's so good. So then I'm on there and talking with Quentin, and he's like, man, it's not that good. I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, what? Right? What? How do you figure? And he's like, the quality is not what I'm looking for. And I was like, okay, well, I have a guy who I think you might be able to work with, right? Who might be able to help you out. This guy that I've got a new connection with, who just destroys it on audio quality stuff, and also does a bunch of video as well. And so I sent it to him. He listened to it. He listened to all the episodes yesterday, created like things that he would change. And I was like, whoa, this is really legit, because I listened to the episode with Lewis House after reading his feedback, and I'm like, this is pretty spot on, and stuff I wasn't even like listening for, like the mark of mastery, right? And I was like, can I share your feedback with him? And he was like, only if he really wants critical feedback.
Yeah.
Like please, like tell him that like these are based around the idea that you said he wasn't happy with the level of production. And I was like, okay. And I was like, would you give him different feedback if he was happy with the level of production? And he's like, I would phrase it differently. And I was like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, exactly. I think you yesterday put out a blog post about words matter.
I did put out a blog. You know what's so funny is I wrote that 2 months ago, right? And then it kind of went through our process. And so, you know, we've got this new scheduler, which Melissa really, really likes, and we've been able to be a little bit more consistent with like pushing stuff out, which is great. But yeah, like word choice definitely matters, right? One different word choice in like a couple of very key spots, and I would be in a very different situation than I'm in right now, right?
Mhm.
Would not be this version of myself for sure, but as far as anything else of it being better or worse, who could really say?
Yep. True. Well, I've got the Wednesday thing today.
You do.
And that means we're back in school and I don't get to work. That was good.
Curses. We don't get to work.
No, I actually get to hang out with my kids.
There you go. There you go.
Get to participate.
That's a good word choice. I have the opportunity to hang out with my kids at school all day and be part of the lessons they learn. Yeah.
Yes, exciting. I actually really do enjoy it. I love Wednesdays. It's, in fact, when I didn't have them, something felt empty. Like I was really.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like you were talking about last week. Like if I remove something one time, does it feel like something's missing? And it does. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Anything exciting happened for you yesterday?
I mean, work's exciting for me. No, nothing mega, nothing. I've been toying around a little bit on Clubhouse, so I've popped into a few rooms. I hopped into a LinkedIn one and was a panelist for a little bit on one. With Q was actually on it too. And so I did a little bit of that. I'm not overly sold on it just because I kind of want to wait for it to settle. So there's just so many people rushing into it, and there's 1,000 rooms being built, and it's almost like the gold rush. It feels like to me, like anytime a new social media platform comes.
Every one of these things is right, because you were talking about me. You were telling me about your buddy Mark Steele, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Was it, and he hopped into there. Or no, he hopped into TikTok.
Yeah.
And because the community was so small, it was so easy to gain traction early, right? And gain a bit of a following before it gets like flooded. And it should be looked like that, right? Because here before long it's going to be flooded. You're going to be just like another person, and if you don't, right, it's one of the rules of marketing, right? If you can't be the first in your category, create a new category, right? So you're not going to be the loudest name on Facebook or LinkedIn or any one of these other things, but you might be super loud on the new platform. So I agree with you that that it needs to settle, but I have zero problems with the fact that people are seeing opportunity and like going after it, because I think the things that I'm seeing about this are that it's a whole lot of people who can only speak from their experience, and they can't really like coach or help anybody else. So what happens is that it's like a whole lot of, well, just do it the way that I did it, as opposed to like, let me help you figure out the way that you need to do it.
Yeah. I think that's everywhere though. I think that's across.
That's true.
What I'm seeing is a whole lot of established people just immediately popping up shop there because they already have material and funnels, and it's just one more place for it to put a mic in front of them. So it quickly just filled up. I was like, wow, that's awesome. That's pretty amazing.
I have my invite. I can get on there. I just need to get an iPhone because I'm an Android guy, and I don't want to just run Clubhouse off of Melissa's iPhone all day long, because that would be annoying. I do think there is a concern for that platform because of like the drop-ins and stuff, to make yourself too available there, and then you're not paying attention to the other avenues and lanes, and it ends up becoming like a time suck, right? Because it can be just like networking, right? If you're not intentional in your networking, like, hey, do the people that I'm working with are frustrated with this, angry at this, concerned about this. Do you have anybody like that? Most people just show up and say, do you know anyone I should be talking to? And they say, nope. But if I think of somebody, I'll let you know. Right. And it's like, you're not really setting yourself up for like a whole lot of success. So I can see that same thing happening in these Clubhouse groups. You want to get connected? I want to get connected. And then nothing else ever happens.
There's a lot of that. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that going on. Well, I think what's interesting, I was in a room where the co-founder was in. He was talking about it, and he was saying that they were really surprised that rooms were a thing. Like they thought that these little groups would form, right? Obviously, and people would spin up a group of 3 of us, and we would chat about something or whatever. And I think a great lesson in product marketing is you got to understand what your audience is going to do with it, not what you think they should do with it. Now, there's a case, obviously, Apple's famous for this, right? They will tell you what to do with their product, and they will own it and force you into it. But they have so much money and time that they can do that.
Yeah.
But rooms, they had no idea was a thing. So there's still not an index for rooms. In fact, they had done a crude. One of the co-founders had literally followed all the rooms as they came on, so that if you wanted to find a room, you would have to go into the co-founder's profile and look through the list of rooms he followed. That was the index. So rooms have really been the thing. Like, you spin up a room and it has a subject title on it. It has a couple, facilitators or whatever. And then they kind of run it like a webinar, like the old school, like phone webinars. And they speak, and then they ask questions, and they get you to raise your hand, and you can come on and talk and chat, and then they can kick you back off. Kind of like this, just audio only. So I think it's got really good use case, but it's just one more place you can do like this, what we're doing.
It's not new. It's a slightly different, right? It's right. It's interesting to me to see how excited everybody is for phone conferences.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, part of that baffles me, but part of it is also really interesting that we can get people excited about non-video phone conferencing.
I wonder if it is a zoomed out audience that's tired of looking at Zoom calls and is like, oh, I can do this instead and do whatever I want, just talk. Like, there's a little bit of excitement around that too.
You hear about the Zoom fatigue. You hear about all these things, especially now with all the COVID stuff, and people are, having to use this kind of stuff for like for a lot of people the very first time, which is kind of crazy for me to think about, because like I've been on Zoom for, I don't know, 2.5 or 3 years or something crazy like that, because Stevie Don, who came on the show a couple of months ago, was like, hey, would you like to have a digital coffee? I was like, what is a digital coffee? And she's like, you have your coffee at your house. I have my coffee at my house. We don't have to drive anywhere. And I was like, oh, so I can avoid the 30 minutes of drive time to like a coffee shop and then back. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, I definitely want to do that. As a matter of fact, I want to do this with everybody, right? Because if we're talking about batching and efficiency, right? The coffee meeting goes long, then the next one starts late, and then all of this stuff, and then drive time back and forth. Or, if you're like a big networker, you might have different events on different days. And now it's just like, I'm here. Let's talk about it and stuff. I did this poll on LinkedIn, and I was like, hey, like, what would be the most beneficial to you in 2021? More leads, better client relationships, better questions, a better way to like manage and handle your leads, right? What do you think won? Just out of curiosity.
That was a lot of answers to keep up with.
More leads, better conversations, better client relationships, or lead management system.
More leads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody
wants more leads, right? And I ran this poll, and a friend of mine was like, hey, did this work out the way that you thought it was? And yeah, right? Like, everybody always wants more leads, but like, here's the deal. If you have a good lead management system and you're asking really good conversations to like have the right kind of client relationships, those people turn into people who sell for you. And then you don't need more leads than you're already getting. You're just doing more with the leads that you already have, and turning the people that you close into fans, because you're actually delivering well and helping these people out. And then you can show up and say, hey, how's it going? And they say, oh, it's so great. We love you guys. Okay, it's awesome. Great. I'm glad you're liking it so much. What do you like so much about it? They'll tell you, yada, yada, yada. Hey, do you know anybody else who might get benefit from this? Mm-hmm. Make that one of your KPIs, to go reach out to the people who you're already working with, to go ask for referrals, right? One of the coaches I know, he has this trap that I love. He goes, if I get a compliment, I'm asking for a referral.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a great God, it's so good. It's so good.
I love it. So, I want to program that into me too, because I love that.
Yeah. You got to go.
I got to go.
Yeah, it's school day. Sorry, man. I almost ran you over.
Don't worry.
Time.
Yeah, I was about to run you over, so don't worry. Bye. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you, Levi. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Jake. Have a good day at school, buddy.
All right. Thanks.
See you, man.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.